Alright, Sisyphus, how are we doing? Woo! You guys ready for some highbrow nerd jokes? Yeah, alright, what is the integral of 1 over cabin?
2.
The natural log of cabin. Ooh, that joke didn't go over so well. I was going to use integrals to differentiate the nerds in my crowd, and all I've done is divide you. I was brought here to add to the set, and now I am subtracting from it. I'm going to move on to some other material. So if you couldn't tell by my physique, I am a dad. I have 3 kids at home. Yeah, they range in height from here to here. I've stopped keeping track of how old they are. It feels like it changes every year. So I get asked a lot what having 3 kids is like, and the way I describe it is with 2 kids, you're trying to balance 2 kids, your marriage, and your job. So try to imagine juggling 4 balls all at once, and then somebody hands you a baby. You're going to drop something, and hopefully it's not the baby. You know, if I'm being honest, I did drop my baby once. And I knew it was bad when I dropped him and he didn't make a noise. That's not entirely true. He did make a noise. It kind of sounded like this. So I panicked. I picked him up and I had to wake him up again. And I immediately went and got him vaccinated. I just wanted something else to blame in case he turned out autistic. So the other day I was visited by a rabid raccoon in my backyard. It was a Saturday morning, and this raccoon was stumbling around, walking in a circle like a drunken Scrooge McDuck. And so I called animal control, because I live in the city, and they said, it's not rabid, it just has distemper. And I said, how do you know it's not dat temper? And they said, well, our field crews don't work the weekends, so what you have to do is take a garbage can, put it over the raccoon, put a rock on it, and we'll be out on Monday. And so I said, all right, on Monday you guys are going to come out and nurse this raccoon back to health. And the animal control said, oh no, distemper is fatal. But the good news, it's going to be 100 degrees this weekend. So on Monday we'll come out and collect the carcass. This did not feel humane to me, so I said, you know, can I just shoot it? And they said, it is illegal for you to discharge a firearm within city limits. All right. So what if I do? Well, that is a matter for between me and the police. So I called the police next. Explained the situation, and the police said, it is safer for me to approach an animal in distress and put a bucket over it than it is for me to stand a comfortable distance away and shoot it. So I said, all right, can you guys come out and shoot it? That was a hard no. I said, come on, you guys are the police, you love killing stuff. The officer said, and that's why we can't do it anymore. Fast forward later that afternoon, I'm at an event where they have police working security. And I go up to one of the officers and I said, hey, I got this raccoon in my backyard, what can I do about it? And I explained the whole thing. And the officer goes, I got it. And he looks around like he's about to tell me a dirty joke to see who's listening. And he goes, here's what you do. Call back and say the raccoon has become aggressive. That will give you motive and probable cause for self-defense. And now you can shoot the raccoon. But before you shoot the raccoon, you have to shout, stop resisting! So I haven't told any jokes about work yet. It's because in my day job I work with asphalt. I wanted to do some fun stuff before I got to the dark stuff. So at my work, we just got everybody iPads because we are moving to paperless. No more plan sets, no more blueprints. We're going to be 100% paperless by 2040. And frankly, I don't think it's going to work. By a round of applause, who here has ever tried to wipe with an iPad? Anybody? Just me, huh? So last year I was working on construction of an outdoor amphitheater in North Minneapolis, actually not too far from here. Somebody started a rumor that Taylor Swift was going to be performing at that outdoor concert venue, because before we even started construction, we had people on our job site camping out for tickets. We had homeless people on our job site, or so I thought, because I called the police to have them removed. And the police said, we don't have homeless people in Minneapolis. We have urban explorers, and they're just enjoying nature. So we got to live with them. While I was on site, I took a poll, and 100% of urban explorers were upset when their tent fell over. So I told that joke at work, and I got in trouble with HR. We're going through a rebranding effort at my work. We run an asphalt plant, and so I used ChatGPT to come up with a new slogan. I said, give me a slogan that a majority of Americans are going to like. And I'm going to need a little bit of crowd work here. I want to see which slogans you guys like. All right, so a majority of Americans like this slogan. Ready? St. Paul asphalt, making asphalt great again. Anyone? All right. How about build back better with St. Paul asphalt? No takers on that one. All right. How about with St. Paul asphalt? Yes, we can. Any of those slogans?
Those are good.
Those are good? So a majority of Americans like those because those were the last 3 presidential slogans that ChatGPT recycled. I said, give me a better slogan that's not so politically motivated. And ChatGPT came up with St. Paul asphalt. Quality is our recipe. You guys like that one? Yeah, I'm hearing some. That's also the slogan for Wendy's. All right, I got a working from home tip for you, and then I'll get out of here. Actually, now working from home, so I'm really bad with names. So at work, I carry on a clipboard, and instead of asking people what their name is, I ask them to spell their name. And my coworker looks at me like I'm an idiot, and goes, B-O-B. And now I'm feeling like an idiot, so I said, you spell it conventionally. Sometimes I see that written with 2 O's. And now he thinks I'm a Bob, right? All right, if you guys like that, I'm on all the social medias. You can find me on YouTube, Twitter, Tinder, Instagram. You guys are laughing, but I promote the hell out of my shows. So Sarah, if you came, sorry I'm happily married, but thanks for buying a ticket. Hey, I am Chris Dede. Why don't you guys put your hands together? Welcome our host, Nate.